Hello, and welcome to this episode of the In My Era podcast, and rest in peace. Okay, if you're joining me here today, you are joining me here today for a funeral for the past version of you. Now, before we get into this episode, there are a few disclaimers that I would like to make. First, and most importantly, I wanted to bring attention that September is Suicide Awareness Month. And I just want anyone watching this to know that if you or someone that you know is having a hard time, you are not alone. There are resources available. I am going to link the suicide hotline in the bio below. This is literally me Googling it as we speak. Suicide hotline. Okay, guys, let me tell you what it is. Okay, 988. It's really easy. Instead of 911. Just call 988, okay? I was realizing that as I was coming up with this week's episode of killing off the old version of you, and then I was like, wait a minute, this could come across completely tone deaf and concerning. So I have to add that disclaimer. Also, suicide is very serious, and I just want anyone watching to know that if you're going through a hard time, please reach out to me. I care, I think, more than anyone could seriously understand. So even if we're not close, even if we haven't spoken ever, seriously, talk to me. I'm here for you, okay? That being said, this week's episode is supposed to be kind of funny, lighthearted, but also a little bit serious in a way. So without me rambling too much about it, I'm going to get into my second disclaimer and then get into the episode, okay? We're really dragging it out a little bit. My second disclaimer is that I just worked for like 15 hours straight, not even kidding, like from 4 a.m. To like 1 hour ago, and then I came home and showered and put on fake tan, and I'm on my period, so my uterus is imploding. So basically, I am unwell and exhausted, but there are things that I need to do, like give the people the information that they need from me, okay? And just before anyone thinks anything, I had a lot of help with Remy today via my neighbors and friends and dog walkers, so he's alive and well and sleeping right now. Okay, anyways, that's it. That's all my disclaimers. Now let's get started. So, you found yourself here on this Saturday, or whatever day you're listening to this, and we need to celebrate and remember the old version of you, because they're long gone. And I say they because you could be a he, she, they watching. I really don't care. But the old version of you is dead. And when I say this episode is lighthearted, I mean, do not kill yourself. Seriously, do not do it. Don't do it. Kill the old version of you. And what I mean by that is certain things about yourself that you're like, I really don't claim her. I don't claim that. I don't resonate with that. Kill it off. Okay? Let's just get into it. Thank you for joining me for your funeral. Life is such a mental game for me, and it's gotta be. After like all the anxiety and depression and possible ADHD, seriously, my doctor parents had a sit down talk with me this week, and they were like, we think you might have ADHD. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, that would make a fucking lot of sense. Won't lie to you guys. So, anywho, I cope with it in weird ways. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but like, I threw myself a funeral on Tuesday. Like, seriously. I looked at my roommate and I said, Megan, are you free tonight? And she goes, yep. And I say, perfect, you are coming to my funeral. And she was like, what? Okay. So she pulls up. I forced her to come with me basically at nighttime. It was a full moon. It was a full moon, and I forced her to come with me to the beach. And we sat down in the sand, and I told her all of the past versions of myself that I am killing off, aka letting go of. This last year, I feel like I've grown a lot. It's crazy. Like, ever since I turned 18 up until like 22, every single year, I feel like I am just learning and growing so much. And there's so much that I feel like I see in myself that I just don't really resonate with anymore at all. And I feel like there's so much that I'm ready to let go of and kind of just step into a new era of me in my era. I'm delusional right now. Anywho, as we sit here at your funeral right now, I want you to think of all of the versions of you that need to be killed off, that need to be let go with love. Let me say that one more time, with love, because you can never be getting rid of parts of yourself out of hate, okay? You can't be like, I fucking hate that I talk so much shit. I need to change it because I hate it about myself. No, let's let it go with love. Let's be like, you know what? That was an immature part of me to talk so much shit. But I'm grateful now that I understand that I don't need to talk shit anymore. So I let that part of me go with love. Bye-bye. Have fun in hell. Release it. Let it go. Okay? One thing I need to get clear here is that we are here because of the decisions that we make every single day. And that is a tough pill to swallow, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because every single decision that you've ever made has led you to this moment, has led you to listening to your funeral as my podcast, okay? So if you're not happy with where you are, who you are, you need to take a moment to figure out what version of you is not aligned with where you want to be, / who you want to be. What parts of you are you ready to let go? For the past, I don't even know, year. Oh my God, Remy's awake. For the past year, I feel like I've been so stuck and I've been so ready for a change. I just couldn't tell what the change needed to be. But what I realized was that one of the biggest things that I was doing to unintentionally self-sabotage with myself was pouring so much love into people who could just not reciprocate the same level of love and life and friendship that I can give. Because when I give people all of this love and light and friendship and then I don't get any of it back, or I'm disrespected, but I take it because I'm fuck it, I love you so much, that's me undermining myself. And that was one of the biggest realizations recently, was that no matter how much I love somebody else, I need to love myself more to know what I need and what I deserve. So yeah, when I pictured where I want to be and who I want to be, what I want my life to be like, I need to think about who's around me and what they look like, how they treat me. You have to kill off all of the versions of you that don't align with what you want. If you want to be a millionaire who wakes up at 5 a.m. and works out and then runs their own business, you need to start going to bed early. You need to start waking up early. You need to buy a gym membership. You need to probably do some soul searching and figure out what the fuck business you can start that's actually going to be successful, because I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 10 years. Anyways, Rob Dial fact. You need to figure out what you need to do, because we can want things, but if we don't do things, let me be more specific. If you want to be a millionaire, you can, but you actually have to change your life to get there. You can't just be oh, let me stay Joe Schmo and Mr. Frat and I'm just one day probably just going to be a millionaire. No, that's cool. And believe in yourself at least, but you have to actually take active steps every single day to get to where you want to be. I've been thinking about this because sometimes when I'm going through it, I cope with eating food. I'm a stress eater for sure. And that's not something that I particularly love, because it's just not something that I love. So sometimes when I'm stress eating, I'll be okay, is this aligning with who I want to be? Does the highest version of myself need to stress eat to feel better, or can she manage her emotions in a healthier way to get through it? And the reality is, the highest version of myself does not need to eat an insane amount of food to feel better, okay? That's personal, that's me, all right? When I think about my future, I want to be, I think, above all, in a happy and healthy relationship that is reciprocal and he is my best friend. Genuinely, a happy and healthy relationship is probably at the top of my list of things that I want moving forward. What I've realized this last year is that my relationships, romantic relationships, but friendship and family, like the relationships in my life mean so much more to me than my career. And that's just my personal opinion. And so when I think about the relationship that I want, I need to think about how they would treat me, how I want to treat them, all of that. And I was looking at the male options that I had in my life for my happy, healthy dream relationship. And I was like, wait a sec, literally none of you make the cut. Not even close, actually. So what am I doing? Take inventory, cut it out. Kill off the versions of me that accepted less than what I actually want and deserve. And it's unfortunate because I feel like there was one guy that I really fucking liked. And did I fuck it up? Possibly. Possibly I did. But that's okay, because nothing that's meant for you will leave you, and you can't mess up what's meant for you, whatever. That's what I'm telling myself to cope, honestly. But anyways, back to this. I had to cut off the situationships, friendships with my exes. I had to let them go. And I also, you know what? I had to let go of boys trying to take me on a date the day before. Or a boy trying to take me on a date where, like, he won't plan it. Like, I'm sorry. I know for a fact my husband is going to be like, hi, are you free next weekend to go out for dinner? I'd love to take you to this restaurant. And I know it because I've seen it and I've experienced it. I have experienced the best treatment. And I can't go back. I can't settle for any less. So, yeah, I'm not going on dates with any of those. That's just an example. I want you guys to think about, seriously, what you feel like you can let go of with yourself. Like, out of love. What can you let go of? Can you let go of maybe your desire or your belief that you think that you don't actually deserve good things? Because I promise you, you do. A lot of our thoughts about ourselves aren't really our own. I've realized that a lot of the thoughts that I have about myself or like my body or whatever, I have kind of taken on from like my mother or from like coaches in sports or teachers, like little comments that adults told me about myself growing up. I've kind of picked it up and started to treat myself that way. And then I've had to take a step back and be like, okay, do I actually think this about myself? Or would I tell somebody else this? Probably not. So why am I telling it to myself? One of the things that I tried to do was to write a letter to the versions of me that I was okay to let go and figure out what you want to change and kind of like let it go in a letter of love. Like my letter would say something like, Dear Haley, I am so grateful that you have always done your best despite being so far from perfect. I'm so grateful for like how much we've learned, whatever. But I let go the idea that I'm not enough for healthy love. I let go of the insecurities that I don't deserve my dreams. I let go of the versions of me that try and numb myself by scrolling on social media. I let go the versions of me that seek external things for comfort, such as food, coffee. Those are my vices, genuinely. And I know that all of those negative aspects of myself that I adopted were for a reason, and they don't make me any less good. They don't make me any less worthy. Me with all of the versions of myself that I'm ready to let go. I still deserve true love. I still deserve my dreams. I still deserve everything. But I recognize that there's a lot of parts of me that don't necessarily fit into my life anymore, and I don't need necessarily those thought patterns or coping mechanisms anymore, or I don't need maybe those people anymore. Maybe I've realized that I can actually handle things on my own or with people that I have around me. I recognize that for better or worse, I am here because of every single past version of me. I couldn't be here without them, no matter how much I love or hate them. There's definitely a lot of things that I've done in life that I'm not proud of, but I think one of the biggest tells of character is how somebody reacts to those things that they're not proud of. Like, can they recognize them and take accountability for it and change and grow and be better? Or, like, do they deny it, you know? So, everything that's happened in my life, in your life, and every single version of you served a purpose. It taught you something valuable. It's your job to look into those past versions of you and learn the lessons and discern if that's something that you need to carry on with you. You have the potential to do anything that you want. You can't do everything, but you can do anything if you pick something. That just means that you actually have to change, and change out of love and let go out of love. And I guess all of the things that you accept. I think I kind of want to elaborate. Look, I want to elaborate a little bit more on changing things out of love and accepting things out of love, because I think if you don't really know what that means, it probably doesn't make any sense. Obviously, you don't know, but guys, okay. I'm literally delusional, can you tell? But I'm trying my hardest because I actually think I love this topic. When I say let things go out of love or change your life out of love, what I mean is I think that there is a level of self-love that everyone, in my opinion, has to have to be able to make lasting changes to their life. And when I look at the self-love that I have for myself, I'm going to try and figure out how to explain this. It's almost like I see myself from a bit of a third person perspective in a way. It's like I can be aware of my actions and reactions because I understand where they're coming from. It's like if you see your friend reacting a type of way and you're like, okay, well, she gets angry at that because this happened to her. It's exactly like that, but like for myself. It's like I have this understanding of why I act the way I act. And sometimes in the moment I can't always tell, and so that's why I do something wrong. But looking back, I can usually always figure it out. And I can be like, okay, well, that makes sense. It's not that I'm a bad person that I made a mistake. It's that I just fucked up. Or something happened that made it hard for me to, it's like I have this greater understanding and compassion for myself because I know at the end of the day that I have a good heart. That's like, I think literally my one thing. I will like die on this hill. I know for a fact I am a good person. I am a good friend. I am a good girlfriend. I am a good daughter. I know that I'm a good person. That's it. That's where all of my self-love comes from. It's like I see the little baby version of me, the 3-year-old little girl. And yeah, she's not perfect. She probably draws on the walls and lies pathologically to her parents because I did. But she's perfect because she's bright and she is good. Fuck, guys. I seriously don't know if that makes any sense at all. But I want to be the best version of myself so that the little girl version of me can live out all of her dreams. Okay? And I think all of her dreams are on the opposite side of the things she's ready to let go of. Like white lies and holding on to people who don't treat her how she deserves, and negative self-talk and negative coping mechanisms. The little me deserves to be free. The little me, I think above all, deserves to feel love from herself. So there are versions of me that are dead, that I said sayonara to on the beach on Tuesday. And I feel so much lighter. That is what I hope for you. I hope that you feel a little bit lighter, genuinely just being like, let it go. Let it go. Let go of the version of you that accepted less. because no matter where you are on your self-love journey, on your journey in general in life, you deserve good things. But in order to actually get them, you have to let yourself have them, which is easier said than done. We're all still figuring it out, but if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Yeah, for listening. Whenever people text me that, like, the things that I'm talking about help them, or that they just like to hear my opinions, I'm like, thank you, because I don't know why I like to do this so much, but I really, really do like to do it. And it is my overall goal that, like, I can help be a light and hopefully make people feel less alone and less crazy, because I'm fucking weird, but I will be honest about it, okay? So I hope my being weird helps you guys feel less alone. That being said, like I said, suicide prevention hotline is 888. Please call it if you have an emergency. Call a loved one. DM me if you need me. I'm here for all of you. I love you, and I will see you next week. Bye.